Thanks so much for joining us, female physician entrepreneurs. We are going to be talking about Instagram growth. Dr. Sun, Dr. Kavetha Sun, who's a member of the Female Physician Entrepreneurs Group, reached out to me. She was talking about how she just started an Instagram account. It's gone really well for her. She's all about heal your relationships, right? She's a psychiatrist, and she's also founder of Healing Relationships. So, Kavetha, thank you for doing this. Before we start, I want to hear about you. Tell the audience about yourself, your website, your background, whatever you want to tell. Like, what do you want people in the group to know about you and anyone listening to this recording?
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on. What a pleasure. I've been a member of FPE for a while and gotten a lot out of it. So I'm glad to be sharing what little I know in this area. My name is Kavetha. I'm a psychiatrist, and I was doing traditional psychiatry for several years, inpatient, outpatient. And then about 5 years ago, five to 6 years ago, I think 2020, I switched to doing stuff online, not really knowing what that even meant. Sort of stumbling my way through, and then really enjoyed it, and have been helping mainly physicians with emotional regulation and relational skills. And yeah, so that's been my journey. We have a website, Heal Your Relationships. You can also find it under drkavethasun.com. And we have programs for emotional regulation, including nervous system regulation and relational connection. And yeah, today I reached out because I started a new Instagram account. I had an Instagram account for several years, but I'd never done anything with it personally. My team would just like take little clips and put it on. And honestly, I didn't even have a personal account. I never went on Instagram. I did not know what Instagram even meant, and even thinking about it would feel very overwhelming for me, so I would just put it off. And then I thought about 32 days ago, a month ago, I said to myself, what do I enjoy doing? And I enjoy making videos. I actually enjoy being on video. And so I realized that short form Instagram is all about short videos. So I thought it sort of matches what I enjoy doing. And if I enjoy it, it'll probably be more sustainable. So let me just give it a shot, see what happens. I didn't tell anyone that I started a new account. I just started a brand new account. I started posting 1-minute reels every day. And yeah, we're at day 33 as of today, and we have almost 70,000 followers. It's kind of insane. So it's been fun to learn how a platform works. I didn't know much about Instagram, and so it was a sharp learning curve, and I enjoy that kind of thing. So learning it, cracking the system, so to speak, has been fun. So I'll just share a little bit. I have some slides, and I can share sort of what my journey has been, what I've learned, some mistakes I've made that maybe can help someone else trying to grow on Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So here
at the bottom, I don't know if you've been on Google Meet before.
Yes.
At the bottom is
the share screen.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because I'm terrible at technology. Luckily, this is easy. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen, Sharon? Are you able to see it? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So this. Yeah. So I wrote up a few things that I learned from going to almost 70K in about 33 days. And I'll share my journey. I'll share a simple framework that I've sort of cobbled together that seems to be working. Mistakes that I've made that, are easy to avoid in hindsight. So I hope that'll be helpful. And then any questions anyone has. And if you're watching this via replay and you want to reach out with questions anytime, feel free to do so. So, like I said, I had this account for a long time, and we made a mistake about 2 years ago. I got a social media manager, and I say it was a mistake because it wasn't growing that much. And when I reached out to ask, what are we doing? It doesn't seem to be growing. Suddenly, the next 2 weeks, there were like several thousand followers. And in hindsight, I think they were bots because there was no engagement at all, like maybe 5 likes and no comments, no engagement. But we had, as you can see, 13,200 followers, which doesn't make sense. So the best post there got maybe 500 views. And in the last like 6 months to 8 months, we might have gotten 1 or 2 customers from this account. So that's kind of where things were. And I started this new account 33 days ago. And now the videos, which are just 60-second or 90-second videos, get on average about 50 to 20K views per video. There's, more importantly, tons of engagement, tons of comments, like hundreds of comments, hundreds of people reaching out via DMs. We've already gotten 5 customers for our entry-level program, which is an $1,800 program. And it's led to 3 people reaching out for possible collaborations. So I am shocked with how quickly it can lead to opportunities, which I wish I had known this earlier. Instagram is really, I think, a sort of a easy platform for physicians to separate yourselves. So the framework that I've been using, and I've sort of cobbled this together with stuff I've learned over the years, is I divide it into 2 things. One is principles, that's always there for every single thing, and then tactics, which I pick and choose depending on the video. The principles are knowing your target audience. You know, over the years, so many business coaches have told me this, and I've sort of been like, yeah, I mean, sure, audience. But oh my God, now I get why they say that. You really have to study your audience. You have to know what their fears are, what their frustrations are, what their goals are, what their dreams are, what are the things that keep them awake at night. All the cliche things you hear out there, do the work of actually journaling on that and doing some research on that, because it makes a huge difference. And then knowing what your goals are. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? I did not do this on Instagram for the first several years, that it was a sleeper account, because I had no goals for it. It was sort of like I would make a video for my general content or for free challenges and things that we did. And then my team would clip it and put it on Instagram. But I didn't have any clear path as to, when someone finds me on Instagram, what do I want them to do? What is the customer journey there? I had no clue. And when you don't have a North Star, you'll go in circles, right? So this time when I started, I told myself, I'm going to do the simplest path. And the path that I chose was to first see if there's proof of concept, like, do people want to know the things that I want to share? And then if there is, a lead magnet to a little presentation to an offer to work with us. That was the simplest arc that I could sketch out. Yours might be different. You might have a product, like a physical product you're trying to sell. Maybe it's a program. Maybe it is affiliate marketing. Whatever it is that you're doing, you need to sketch out, when they see the video, the next step, and you're only trying to get them to the next step. So you don't want to go from a video to be talking about your program. No one knows you yet. No one trusts you. So what is the next step we want them to take? And then in that next step, when they're going through the next step, is when you see the following step. But you need to have your goals and a path written out. You'll waste a lot of time like I did otherwise. The third part of principles is being data-driven. For years, I would go off my feelings, right? And just kind of like, how does it feel? Oh, I don't really feel like doing Instagram. It doesn't feel right. And I didn't know what that even meant. So this time I decided I'm going to post videos, look at the insights for each video 24 hours and 48 hours later, understand where, was it the hook that didn't work? Was it the content that wasn't helpful? Was there not a clear CTA? Those are the 3 things you can get from just a 60-second video, right? If the first part of the video drops off, then your hook wasn't interesting. If the middle drops off, then the content wasn't like new. It's something that they can find on ChatGPT. And if the end drops off, then I had this problem. You're rambling on too much at the end. They've already gotten the payoff and they're like, all right, got it. And they're out. And Instagram dings you for if you're having a drop off and you're still talking, Instagram dings you. So I decided I'm going to go data driven this time. And that has made a big difference because I learned quickly within the first 5 videos, I learned, oh, this works, but this doesn't, which I hadn't learned in 5 years, right? So I really recommend know your audience, have a goal and a clear customer arc, and be data driven. Look at your insights and learn from and iterate for the next video. In terms of tactics, these are the 4 things that there's literally 50 to 60 tactics that I collected, but these are the 4 that I would say start with these. You can get to 100,000 followers in these 4 tactics. The first one is a format. So I did not know the format matters this much on Instagram. I thought you just go live like you do a Facebook Live and you just share what you know. But a format is the way you share it, okay? And I'll share with you guys kind of what the different formats are in a minute, but I didn't even know that the format mattered. So I want you guys to take away from this, it's not what you know, it is what you know, but it's also how you say it. Okay, so format matters tremendously. If I'd say one thing, decide on in terms of tactics, decide what your winning format is. And I'll show you what the different options are. The second thing is having a unique, if possible, a contrarian, but at least a unique take. So I like to use metaphors and visual analogies in my explanations because people haven't heard it put that way before. There's nothing new on the planet. Everything is already out there, right? So you've got to have someone say, oh, I never thought about it that way before. That's your unique take. And that's what separates you from ChatGPT or 10,000 other people also on Instagram in your exact niche. So have a unique take. Don't just give 3 tips for so-and-so that they can find anywhere. The third one is the hook. The first 3 to 5 seconds of your video is your hook. If your first 3 to 5 seconds are you saying, hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I thought I'd talk about, you've already lost them. That's 5 seconds and you have not said anything interesting. I did not know this for a long time. If you look at a lot of my early videos in the other account, it would be, so today we're going to talk about, today I had an interesting experience. Well, I live in Connecticut and the weather is starting to turn. It's finally summer. No one cares. It's like I've lost 5 seconds just sort of introducing. I still talk like that, but what I do now is I record like that and then I cut off that first few seconds. So if you still have a pull to be conversational like that, go for it. And then you can edit it out in the edits. So now I start with, hey guys, welcome to day 32. Today I wanted to talk about blah, blah, blah. And then in edits, I cut off all the preamble. So it still feels natural to me, but on social media, people want to feel like they've been dropped in the middle of a conversation. Okay. Editing, I just use Instagram edits. I used to try using CapCut and what was that other one? There was one called Format Finder that I tried to use. A lot more complicated. Edits, which is just an app that you can download for free, is Instagram's editing software. It is the easiest, most seamless because it takes it from your camera roll. You can edit it right there. It has everything that any other editing app has. Yes. No, I record it. I don't do it live. I would not recommend doing it live until you feel like you have a great audience who are waiting for your IG lives. It's kind of like doing a Facebook Live. You've got to have an engaged audience waiting for you. Until then, you want to really get honed in on doing the hooks and doing the CTAs, which means you will need to take, even today, I did one today, I had to record 5 different hooks until it actually fit in the 5 seconds. I had to record the bulk of the video, the 1 minute section of the video, I think it was like 8 times, right? So, but I just keep talking. I don't stop and start. I'm just talking, and then I'm like, oh, I ramble there. So then I talk again, and then I ramble again, and then I stop and talk again. And the whole thing takes me 10 minutes. That's it. But then I then go into Edits app and just remove all the ums and ahs. It's not that hard, but Edits is the easiest thing because it syncs seamlessly with Instagram. You just click a button and it goes on Instagram. Okay. So the hook, if people leave in the first 5 seconds, there's no point in you having the world's most earth-shattering useful content because no one's hearing it. So the hook is so important, right? And then finally, the last part of the tactics is the CTA. Have a call to action in every single video. It doesn't have to be, comment this for this, or, check out my website. It can be something as small as, do you guys agree with this? Yes or no? Or has this happened to you? Let me know in the comments. So I like doing soft CTAs for 80% of my content, because otherwise it comes across very salesy. You're constantly saying, go check out my program, but no one wants that. So 80%, I'm just asking, have you had this happen to you? Has anyone else said this to you? Let me know if you agree or not in the comments. Give me a yes if you're in to try this. Soft CTAs, but you want to ask for engagement, because it's shocking how many people will engage when you ask for it and will not when you don't, right? So even if your content is amazing, people will just scroll by and not engage if you don't ask for it. So put a CTA there. Instagram counts a lot with how many shares you get, how many saves you get. Shares and saves are the #1 metric on Instagram. And then the third one is the comments. So I will often say, share this with somebody that you love, or save this for the next time you find yourself in this situation, or comment below and let me know if you agree with this. Simple things like that. Saves, shares, comments. Ask for it. So that's the principles and the tactics. And I'll tell you a little bit about, I told you guys already about starting, rebuilding. If you are starting or rebuilding, you want to think about getting every video to at least a couple thousand views. That's when you know it's hitting an audience, right? It depends on the niche. Like if you're like if you're a neurologist speaking only to other neurologists in private practice, getting even 50 views or 100 views is great because it's targeted, right? So this isn't general, but if you're a little bit broader, you want to get to at least 1,000 views or so, then you know that it's hitting the mark. And until then, I would focus on researching your target audience, getting your format right, and getting your hooks right. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about having a CTA. Don't worry about the customer journey. If you don't have at least a couple hundred targeted views, or if it's a broader market, at least 1,000 views, you don't need to do anything else other than focus on your target audience. Check if you're getting the problems right, if you're getting the hook right, and if the format is engaging. Once you get it to that level, then you can think about doing CTAs, having a lead magnet, having the customer arc, having an email sequence. None of that matters. You don't even need a website in the beginning. You just need to get the right audience and speak to them in a way that they're actually following you and viewing your stuff. So audience, format, and hooks. These are the big 3. Knowing your audience, problems and frustrations. Who they are, what their problems are, what are they doing now to solve those problems that isn't maybe working great. You need to know that, because when you can say I know you're trying this, this, and this, they feel seen. We all feel seen, right? What is your unique take and solution? And do you have a plan to help somebody, right? If you can show a visual plan to help someone, it's sort of like if we go see a physician in real life, right? They examine you, they give you a diagnosis, and then they give you a plan. We're going to do this first, and then we're going to try this. And if this doesn't work, then you're going to come back in 15 days, and we're going to do this test. And then then we know, okay, this person knows their shit and they're going to take me through a series of steps. If you don't have a plan that you can elucidate to somebody, they can't trust that you can get them across the bridge, so to speak, right? So get these things clear in your mind, because that certainty will show in your energy. Even if you're not talking about your plan, if you know your plan, it will show in your energy. Formats. There are 5 different kinds of formats, but most of us as physicians, we are educators, right? We are creators and educators. We're not influencers. Most of us are not trying to become big influencers that, want to do brand deals. We are educators, and we want to get customers and bring them to know about our website and about our products. So for us, the 2 things that helps the most is the education format and the storytelling format. Okay. Don't worry about the others. Just focus on education and storytelling. Inside education, there are many ways to educate somebody, right? The one that's helped me the most is using metaphors in a talking head, and drawing or writing on a notepad or using sticky notes. I say this, it sounds so silly, but somebody who has less knowledge than you will do better on Instagram if they're using visual stuff formats rather than somebody just talking. So even if it feels silly, or if you feel like you're stumbling through it, use some visual hooks, right? I just recently bought colored number blocks that say 1, 2, and 3. And I just put them on the desk and I say, number 1, I pick it up and say my first point. It's as simple as that, but it's a visual hook, right? So use metaphors, use objects and sticky notes and visual hooks. Those 2 things, along with a listicle, like I'm going to give you 3 ways to do so-and-so, and then you're going to use those metaphors or visual hooks. Those 2 is the best for education. And then in terms of storytelling, you want to show a before and after. Basically, whoever you're talking about, this character was struggling with this, they went on this journey, and you need to have a payoff that shows that the character either succeeded or failed. So there's got to be a bit of a drama arc there. We don't want to tell a story as in, I went on this vacation. It was kind of an interesting vacation. There was, I went on this vineyard. There's no drama. There's no tension, right? A good story has to have tension. This character, I went on this vacation. I didn't know which vineyard to choose. It was my wife's 50th birthday. She loves Chardonnay, and I could not find the right vineyard for a Chardonnay. There's some tension there, and then there's a payoff, right? It's the same vacation, but you want to have a beginning, a tension, and a payoff. Very, very, very important. I can't stress this enough. I have experimented with multiple ways of doing stories. If there's no tension, no payoff, it's the same as not even posting anything. Okay, so those are the 2 formats to think about. Listicles with metaphors and visual hooks, and storytelling that has tension and payoff. In terms of the hooks themselves, there are 3 kinds of hooks. The visual hook, that is what they see as soon as they play the video. What I've used successfully is just moving my phone, right? I will start the video with looking down on the phone and talking, and then 2 seconds in, I just sit up, and that movement of the angle is a visual hook. That's all it takes. You can have it as you rolling down a car window as you're talking. It can be you're sitting and then you stand, or you're standing and you sit. Simple movements like these is all it takes, but you need a visual hook. We pay attention with our eyes first than with our words. Also, many people are listening to Instagram on silent mode, right? So they can't hear what you're saying anyway until they think that it's so interesting that they're going to switch on the volume. So visuals matter more than what you're saying for the first 5 seconds. And if the first 5 seconds people scroll by, what you're saying doesn't matter anyway. No one's listening to it. So pay attention to the visual hooks. The text hook is what they read. That's the second most important, right? The title of the thing. This is something I learned recently and I experimented with that's been really helping, which is the visual text on the Instagram reel, the thing that they see before they play it, that it's better if it has logic with it. Okay, like 3 ways to blah, blah, blah. It's a logical thing that you have as your text. In the captions, which is what they read underneath, right? That little bit that they see underneath. In the captions, it's better if it's an emotional something related to that. So basically what I'm saying is don't repeat what you put in the title on top of the slide, on top of your video. Don't repeat that same thing in the captions. You're getting real estate, use it, right? The captions, you want to say something like, number 3 is the most important. Or comment yes if this has happened in your marriage, right? Something emotional in the captions and logical in the big title text on the video. And the third hook is verbal. Like I said, that's actually the least important because most people are not playing Instagram. They're playing it on silent until the other 2 hooks catch their attention, and then they'll play the video sound. So verbal is actually the last one, but use it as well. And you want that to be an unexpected statement. So for example, for mine, one of mine might be, don't use I statements. Because I teach communication in relationships, and a lot of people think that I statements are the way to go, right? It's not that it's wrong, but it's out of sequence. If you aren't feeling connected and calm first, then even your I statement is going to come across passive aggressive, right? So, but the way I say it is, I statements will make your relationship struggle, which is kind of unexpected because they're hearing everywhere use I statements. So start your verbal hook with something unexpected. So those are the 3 hooks. The visual and the text, I did not know were that important. I always thought it's a video. Clearly what I'm saying is the most important thing, but it's actually the least important thing. It's the visual and the text hooks. And then in terms of a plan, have a plan for what I decided to do was I'm going to do daily posting for 30 days and learn from it. That was my plan. For the first 5 years, I didn't have any plan, like I said. And when I didn't have a plan for what I'm going to do, and I didn't have a plan for the customer journey, it led to no growth. So you need a plan for what are you going to commit to on Instagram. Maybe you only commit to, I'm going to post twice a week. That's okay. Commit to it though, and decide it's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to do it at this time before I leave the office or in the parking lot. Have a plan for yourself. Stick to it for a certain number of days so you can collect data and learn from what's working and what's not. The other thing that helped me a lot was this I did randomly, but it's something that you guys, I would highly recommend now, is I did a 30-day series, which meant that for every video on the top, I would write day number 1 of 30, day number 2 of 30, which I did not realize how important it was. I did it randomly, but I've had so many people reach out and say, I can't find your 26th video. Where is number 5? I loved number 12, right? So it creates a kind of an expectation for what's coming. if you are thinking of starting or restarting an account that's kind of dead or starting a new account, I highly recommend doing a series. Even if you decide to do just a 7-day series, that's all you can do, that's fine. But it creates a commitment inside of you. And it also helps the customer and the people know what to expect from you. And like I said, only focus on problems, your format, experiment with a couple of formats, and experiment with hooks. By the end of 30 days, you'll know which problems resonate in the marketplace, what your winning format is that works for you, and which hooks work for you. Once you know these 3 things, it's just mixing and matching after that. It's the first 30 days that you need to really experiment and collect data. Then you just tweak that, right? So in terms of workflow, this is what I do. Once a week, I map out 5 ideas and I jot down the outlines. I record in the Rode app because I use a Rode microphone. It's the simplest. I'm terrible with tech, but the Rode microphone is the simplest one that I found. You just hold it or you can clip it. It syncs automatically to the Rode app. You can record directly in Rode app. You can upload that directly into the Edits app, edit a few things, record. It goes directly into Instagram. So that's my workflow. Once a week, I just record 5 different videos. I change shirts. I'll tell you how easy in terms of, I used to get really hung up on, oh, I haven't had a haircut yet. My skin looks bad. I need to shop and find some nice clothes. You don't need any of that. One of my videos that went semi-viral, I think it has like 190,000 views or something. Guys, I'm not wearing pants in that video. Okay. No one knows. No one cares. Okay. Just, I'm telling you, there's many times that I haven't even combed my hair. Like, I've really understood and gotten in my head now. It's a format, the hook, how useful and unique your take is, and how clear and resonant you are with your clientele. Nothing else matters. Not how you look, not what your background is. Your sound does matter. Get a good microphone. If they can't hear you, they'll stop listening. And all I do is sit in front of the window. I've spent at least $2,000 to $3,000 on different lights. I do not use a single one of them. I just sit in front of my window in my office and use a Rode microphone. That's it. The whole thing is $100. The whole setup. Okay. You don't need a big setup. I wish somebody had put this into me years ago. And then every day I upload one of them. I record all of them on one day a week. It takes me about 2 hours. And then I upload each one once a day. And then as soon as you upload, you want to respond to comments in the first 15 minutes. After that, Instagram will still send it out to people, even if you don't respond to all the comments. But the first 15 minutes, go in and engage with anybody who even gives a thumbs up or a like or says, oh, that was useful, anything. Ask a question, engage in the conversation for 15 minutes. So as you can tell, I've grown to almost 65K plus followers. It takes me 2 hours once a week and then 15 minutes a day. It is not hard. I promise you. I made it harder than it needed to be for years. So here's some mistakes that I made that hopefully you can avoid. Like I said, none of this shit matters. You're getting the perfect bio. I used to reword my bio every 2 days. Listen, if you don't have engaged followers, no one's even going to look at your bio. No one's looking at your profile. Does not matter. If you say, I help XYZ with ABC, no one's going to notice. Okay? So don't worry about the tech. Don't worry about which camera you're using, how much light there is, how you look, what your bio is. Also, hashtags. I used to worry about finding the perfect hashtag. I don't use a single hashtag these days. My captions, the thing under the video, is literally one sentence. I usually say, do you agree or disagree? comment X for Y. Number 3 is the most important. It's literally one sentence. No one's looking at the captions. Hashtags don't matter. Okay. Also, I wasted a lot of money over the years looking for a social media manager. Guys, you can get to 100,000 followers without a social media manager. In fact, social media managers will not have your voice and presence. Also, taking clips from long form content or other videos and posting on Instagram will not work. I did this for years. It does not work because unless you are an established authority, if you're Brené Brown or, Gabor Mate, any clip, your face recognition is enough to get people to listen. Unless you're that big, you need the format, the hook, the Instagram recipe. You can't just take things from other places and post clips. I mean, you can, but there's not going to be any growth because I did that for 5 years. Zero growth. Okay. Don'ts. Like I said, don't ramble in the beginning and the end. Really important. The beginning has to feel like they're dropping into sort of a shocking sentence, shocking take. And the end has to finish as soon as the payoff is there. As soon as they're like, oh, it should end. Okay. Also, I made this mistake. Don't post on your main business account unrelated things. I would be posting about my vacation, stuff I bought, random shit. And I thought I was doing lifestyle content. Okay. You can post lifestyle content, but post it in the stories, not in the reels. And your lifestyle content should also be stuff somewhat related to what you're trying to say. Right. So I love chess, for example. I don't want to be posting about chess moves. It's so unrelated. Right. So that's something I don't do that. It really dilutes your following. Do's, post daily if you can, or consistently at least, even if it's just once a week, do it consistently, collect data. For the first 30 times that you post, which could all happen within a month, or maybe you spread it out and you do it twice a week and you do it over several weeks, doesn't matter. But the first 30 times, you are being a scientist. You're posting, you're checking hooks and formats, you're checking the insights, you're learning, you're tweaking, right? Reels and carousels is where you will get new followers. Stories are only for people who are already following you. So I don't think I posted a single story yet. I will in the coming weeks and months, but until you get to at least 20K followers, don't worry about stories. Do reels and carousels. Reply to comments in the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes matters a lot. And then, like I said, have at least one soft CTA per video, right? Tell them what to do or ask a question, ask them to ask something related to the video. What do you think? Do you agree? Which one have you seen in your life? Anything, right? So that's what I got. That's what I've learned so far. As I learn more, I'm happy to share more, but any questions that's come up?
I have questions.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm rude. I don't know whether anybody else is waiting for questions, but since I'm already talking, so thank you so much. This was so helpful.
Good.
It is helpful. I'm hung up on two things. One of them is the video editing. Can you
Yes.
talk? Can you talk a little bit more? Like I'm a full-time rheumatologist. Like well. Basically, I feel like I don't have time to edit my own videos, and that's what's been stopping me from posting.
Yeah.
And the second thing I was going to ask about, if you can talk about again about the microphone and app, like how you sync it, how it works together.
Yeah, I can share both. One, I also thought for a long time that I needed an editor. In fact, I would say that was the number one thing that stopped me for a long time, both on Instagram, but also on YouTube. I just assumed that I needed an editor because for two reasons. One, because I thought Instagram short form videos needed a lot of jump cuts. Like it needed a lot of movement, is what I thought, right? Because that's what I'm seeing from influencers. So I think that was a big misperception that I had. You can use visual props and changing the direction of the camera, and that's all you need to maintain interest in an educator account. So that's one thing. I do not do it, not a single jump cut, like nothing transitions. I don't know how to do that. Okay. So I don't. The second thing
I'm sorry. I don't know
No,
what that means. What does it mean?
Oh.
A jump cut?
A jump cut is, when, if you look at influencer videos, you'll see people they'll be in one scenario and then suddenly they'll be in another scenario and suddenly they'll have something.
But I thought you said you do cut your own videos, that you cut the beginning out.
I do. I edit them, the beginning and the end, but I don't do fancy edits, which I thought you needed to do to grow.
Okay. Got it.
Not, right?
Okay.
And then coming to the question about how to do simple edits. Oh my God, Edits app is so simple. What I can do, it's hard for me to explain. What I can do is actually tomorrow when I record it, I'll record myself editing on the Edits app and send it to you guys. You'll see how easy it is.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
It's so easy. You just click and click another button, click and click another button, click and click. 15 seconds, done. It's so easy. I will show you. Don't let that stop you. I let that stop me for years.
How about the app and microphone and?
Yeah, I can, when I'm recording tomorrow, I'll show you how I sync it as well, but it's really easy. And the only thing I know to do when technology doesn't work is to plug something off and on. That's the extent of so if I can do it, anyone can do it. Okay. Really, I'm really bad at tech. So there is an app called Rode. It's just the Rode app, RODE. I'll send screenshots and a little back thing of how I do it. You download the Rode app, you get the Rode microphone, you sync the Rode microphone to the Rode app, which it walks you through how to do. It's like 3 steps, which means that the Rode app is on your phone now. And when you open the Rode app, it picks up your microphone automatically.
Okay.
Then
you get it on Amazon? You can get it on Amazon?
Yeah, you can. I'll send a link to Sharon. I'll send a link and everything. So then you just put the microphone, clip it to your shirt. It's already picking up on your phone. You blah, 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 talk into the app, right? And whenever I make a mistake, I just say the same thing again. I don't even stop and start the video. I just keep talking. So 1-minute video is actually like a 6-minute recording, right? Then I take the recording and I just click and it goes straight into edits. And then I open edits and I'll show you guys. I click a couple of buttons and remove all the nonsensical stuff.
That sounds almost too good to be true.
It is so easy. And
I
then
believe you. I'm excited.
Right in Edits app, you can click a button and it lets you add text wherever you want. You just drag it and add the text. And then I click a button and it's on Instagram in 5 seconds. That's it.
Do you have 2 Instagrams, like one personal and one business, or just one?
No, I only have business. I'm not on social media much personally. So I don't have a personal Instagram account, but if you did, I would do it separately. If you are active on Instagram and that's how you keep in touch with your family and friends and all that, I would do a separate account for your business, because otherwise you're going to dilute it with posting pictures of your pets and then also talking about business. It will feel vague. Instagram will not know who to send your videos to, because you're giving vague signals.
Vibes, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. This was extremely helpful.
Good, I'm glad. Any other questions? Yes. I think you're muted.
Okay, how about that?
Great.
Yes. Thank you so much. I follow you as well. I'm Shraddha. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've been very hesitant to really get started on social media. We have a few posts here and there for the business website. And I'm trying to figure out, do you really, I've heard that it's easier to grow on TikTok versus something else, but I don't have any type of TikTok account. All I have is Instagram and Facebook. And so do you know anything about that? Do you have a TikTok account? Or is it just Instagram that you have? What's your thought on that?
That's such a great question. I don't have a TikTok account. I did not even have an Instagram anything until last month. The only place that I used to post is on Facebook. So Instagram is new for me. But the reason I chose Instagram over TikTok is, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, because take this with a grain of salt, I've never tested this on TikTok. So this is just my opinion. I think I had a feeling that TikTok was for younger audiences. And for me, my clientele is 35 and above, right? So for me, I thought my audience would be more on Instagram. The second reason I chose Instagram is whenever I talk to my audience, my clients, the people in my programs, I haven't come across anyone yet who said, I follow such and such on TikTok, or I found this useful, amazing tool on TikTok, but people do talk about Instagram, right? Even not having found me on Instagram, they're just talking about other useful things that they found on Instagram. I've never heard someone talk about TikTok in my clientele. So those are the two reasons that I chose Instagram. I'm sure you can have great growth on TikTok as well. I don't know what that would look like. What I would say is, what I've learned from this Instagram journey is that each platform is unique. So you can't transfer, like I've been on Facebook for a while. I cannot transfer my Facebook growth to Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different beast. So TikTok is, I'm sure, is its own algorithm. And so if you feel like your clientele is there, I would really study that platform in terms of what helps with engagement and growth.
Yes, no, I agree. I think that my patients are also going to be similar age group as yours. So it's something that I sort of heard in passing, and I thought I would ask, about that. And then my other question is, how do you come up with what you're going to talk about? I feel like there's so many people talking about the same thing, and I feel, well, gosh, I'm just going to be saying something that's probably similar. I don't know how to make it unique or make it novel in some way.
Yeah, that's such a good question. The ways that I found, how do I say this succinctly? The ways that I found to be helpful is, one, using metaphors rather than mechanically just saying the 3 ways to, have emotional regulation. Pause before you speak. Like, people have heard that. Like, it's boring, right? Metaphors, one, it is so emotional and visceral that people immediately get it. 2, very few people talk in metaphors, so that itself makes my content unique, right? So what I would recommend is thinking about what you do, and then thinking about what is your contrarian approach. You might still do the same thing. So for example, I still teach I statements, but the sequencing is different. I think jumping into communication tools and I statements when you're feeling really distant from somebody doesn't work. So the sequence is so that's my unique take. Like I'm saying, use I statements, use communication tools, but they're out of sequence, right? So think about what your unique take on the same thing might be. That's one way, unique take, metaphors. And then the third way is going really detailed. So for example, if you can say, I had a patient come to me with this lab panel and this presentation and this family history, and this combination together, the overlapping parts, this is what I discovered, then you're going so deep that it makes it unique. Versus if I just say 3 causes for clear skin. right? That's boring. If I say, I had a patient with psoriasis who had a family history of so-and-so, and she came with this lab work, and what I recognized was her psoriasis with this lab. Now you're so detailed and so in your expert niche that it becomes unique.
Okay. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Kavetha, this was really wonderful. You gave so many tips. Fabulous. Really.
May I have? Oh, sorry.
No. I know you're all, Martina is very excited. In a good way.
am.
In a good way. You know, it's like all positive. You brought the vibes, positive vibes. But really, you could have charged for this. You didn't. You just came and gave all the knowledge. So, no, it's very. So, just to bring this back to Kavetha again, psychiatrist works a lot with people on their relationships. She runs a program. She's the founder of Heal Your Relationships. Does private coach, like group coaching and stuff. So, I don't want to forget that. But Martina, please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so hung up, like I would love to do it, but my question to you, Kavetha, is how did you decide that it was the right venue to spend your time? Because it will be investment of time, right? Like I will not be pro at it from the beginning. So how did you sell yourself? Excuse me. How did you sell yourself on saying, I'm going to do it for 30 days, no matter what?
Yeah, so I have come to realize more and more that if you are not out there with your own unique way of doing something, you're not going to stay static anymore. You're going to actually lose in the coming years. With the development of AI and information being so cheap now, all of us are going to become obsolete. So if at all we're going to survive, it's because people are going to buy you, not your knowledge. Your knowledge is out there already. So you've got to create brand presence if you want to survive the future. I really believe this.
That is that I have to sit with that, but it resonated. Kind of in a scary way a little bit, but also something deep inside, like, yeah, that's true. Everything I have to say was already said, but it must be about the way, my way of saying it, presenting it, delivering it. Okay.
Yes. Yes. If we don't grow our brand and our presence, this reminds me, yesterday, day before, probably everybody knows Tim Ferriss. Does everyone know Tim Ferriss? Very, very famous author, right? He's a very famous author. Sold millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of copies of multiple books. All of his books are New York Times bestsellers. And he's been, he must be a multi-millionaire. He had written a post 2 days ago saying that he was looking at his book sales over the last several years. Since OpenAI came on the market, just in the last 2 years, compared to the last 20 years, his books have been out different variations for the last 20 years. In the last 2 years, he's lost 40 to 50% of his readers. The sales are down 40 to 50% since OpenAI came on the market. Information is going to become obsolete unless people buy leaders and physicians and coaches. They're not buying the information.
Thank you so much. This was truly a brilliant presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks again. Any other questions? There's a replay, and I will send it out Sunday on the newsletter and also post in the group next week as well. I like to space it out.
Thank you so much.
Ruth, that really great job. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. I'll record a little thing tomorrow showing my setup and the edits thing, and I'll send it to you, Sharon.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kavetha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Have a great rest of the day, guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.